Okay, so the first thing you want to do is figure out exactly where you need to put this camera. And the way I like to do it is plug everything in, or at least the power cord, whatever's coming out on top, because we're going to figure out exactly where we want it. You don't want it to interfere with the mirror. Now, you can put them on either side. Now, on this truck, there's a forward-facing camera for the lane departure, so I've got more room on this side. So, I mean, that looks pretty good right about there. Now that you kind of have a rough idea, we got to clean the window. I'm just going to use some alcohol. Lint-free cloth. So I'm going to take the tape off, put it back up here about where we said we wanted it. Go ahead and unclip the camera so that I can really push on that. Alright, so what my plan is this console right here I'm going to drop down. Here's the switch for the rear window, and that switch is on a 10 amp fuse, so we shouldn't have any problem as far as power. And then I'm going to hardwire that USB adapter into the wiring for this switch. That should provide the power and the ground needed to get this camera up and working. And then maybe later on, if I decide to run the wire for the rear camera, I'll do that at a later date. But today we're just going to put this front camera in. I don't know if I really need a rear camera or not. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And go ahead and get and we're going to press on getting this console out. In fact, I'll use the tool that came with it. So if you drop this down, this piece right here needs to come down, and there's a little clip on both sides. I don't know if you can see the little clips right there. Pop those loose, and then the rest of it will pop down. Now here's the switch that I'm talking about right here. We'll have to figure out which ones are power, which ones are ground, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and we're going to get this thing completely out of our way. Need a light. Just little push buttons that you hit to get those unplugged. Okay. So this was the connector to the sliding window. I'm going to go ahead and take that tie off there. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap this cable out. It doesn't need to be this long. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I went in and I got the short USB cable that came with it. That's going to be plenty good since it's such a short run. What I'm doing right now is trying to figure out, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take these screws down. That way that'll give me a little bit of, the headliner will come down just a little bit and give me what I need, I think, to run that wire. Those look like ports. T10. The rest of this console, I think, just snaps. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, with that down, I'm able to slide this connector right there. Now you could run this down to the fuse box if you actually wanted to. But see, now I've got my wire that I need. I'm going to go ahead and snap this on back up there now. So there's our USB. All we got to do is find the power and ground in this little bundle, and then go from there. So let me get my test light and a T-pin. I had to swap lights. My other light was dead. Okay, now there's a black wire. I should have looked on the print, see exactly which wires we needed to go to, but we can probably make do. It's just too hot. Assume the black is going to be our ground. Now the key's off right now. I just want to check and see if there's any of these other. Now let me get my phone. Okay, so with the key off, none of these other wires have power. So I turn the key on. This very end wire here, we get power. Nothing else has power on it. So that's what I wanted to see. So this black is our ground, and this purple and yellow is our power. Now, it looks to me like this connector will come apart pretty easy. I don't want to cut my factory wiring. So I think what I'm going to do is, if this does come apart as easy as it looks, then okay, I think I figured it out. You can't hold it. Okay, turn that off. I know the wires now. So this looks to me like it slides off the back. I just got to figure out how to hold it to where I'm not interfering with it, and get these tabs pulled up. Right there. That's what I wanted. Because what my idea is I'm just going to solder. I'm going to solder right onto these pins. Purple and yellow and the black. I'm just going to solder right onto the back of them. So let me get set up to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put these Torx in. And I'm going to go ahead and put my Torx set up because I want to take you over to where I'm going to solder the USB adapter up. Show you exactly how I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead. Yeah, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Let me get some water for this sponge. Let me get set up here completely so that you don't have to watch all this. Okay. So first I want to get rid of this spring and this right here. I'm going to get it set up in the vise. I mean, why not make it as easy as possible for me, right? That way I can grab it. Okay. So the black needs some solder. Go ahead and tin these. So the white with the black is going to be the ground, which was this one here. And then the solid white is going to be the positive. Ouch, that got hot. Alright. So there we go. Now I'm going to be able to hardwire these to the connector and plug the USB up into that. Should be good to go. Okay, I went ahead and put a little bit of electrical tape around that just to make sure that it stays together. Now I'm going to go solder this up into the vehicle, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to tin the back of these pins. Go ahead and tin the wires here. Okay, the one with the black stripe was our ground. So I'm going to put that one right here. And the power was our solid white. Now what I want to do, obviously, before I plug my camera into it, is find something to test it. So let me go inside, find some kind of a USB device I can plug into this to make sure that we got it right. So I just got a little power pack, USB, no lights right now. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Vehicle's off. Let's go ahead and fire it up. These lights should come on if everything's good. And they do. And of course, without the switch plugged in, we can't test the back window, but I don't suspect it's going to be a problem. Let's get that turned off. Okay, so wires are soldered up. Now we just got to put the little cap on here. Hopefully it'll still fit. And there it is. So now, let me see, do I want to... I'm just going to position all this stuff to where it's kind of up and out of the way, but still somewhat organized. Look at this here. Make sure that that goes. That might get in the way, so I'm gonna try to just put it right here in this area. I'll just lay it just like that. First, I want to put the camera up. Make sure the lens is clean. Put the key in. Make sure it fires up. I want to aim the camera. Looks good right there. Alright. Enough of the noise. See how that's just going to lay right in there? Okay, I think that's it. Back window opens, camera works, everything's tucked up nice and neat. So all this is back together. Got the camera mounted right there. Mirror is still able to be adjusted wherever it needs to be. So you want to make sure that don't put it like behind the mirror to where now you can't adjust it. Guess we don't need that noise anymore, do we? And that's all there is to it. All your power and grounds are up here, so you only have to run 1 foot worth of wire. Now, if I do decide to put the rear camera in, it'll need to be over on the driver's side, because the sliding window opens up to the passenger side. And then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get the wire rammed back to it. And I don't know if it's going to be worth the trouble. I would say I'd go just run a fish through the console, pull this console back down, overhead console, run a fish up through the headliner. But if you see how the headliner recesses right there, I think it might be kind of difficult to get a fish all the way back where I need to. So I don't know if it's worth the trouble to really have a camera aimed toward the back. But at least I've got my camera, 4K camera, and I will, on this video, I'll put a sample of driving down the road at night and day, so that you can see what kind of quality we're looking at. But that's how easy it can be to install a camera. Now I don't have any wires, running along the trim, coming down under the dash, and plugged into the 12-volt outlets. It's all tucked up nice and neat, which is the way I like it. That's the way I've done all my dash cams on all the vehicles we've got. This is by far my favorite camera. I've already looked at some of the quality of the video, and it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you guys need a dash cam, so of course I just put this in. I haven't had any experience with any kind of time with it, But, you know, and maybe in another 6 months, I'll put another video up, you know, explaining the reliability, if it's ever shut down on me or not recorded video that I needed it to record. Because that's what you don't want, is to spend, you know, 30 or 40 bucks on a dash cam thinking you're protecting yourself in case you're in an accident or whatever, and then you find out that either it wasn't recording when you thought it was, or the video is so grainy and bad that you can't really, it's not really usable. That's why I went with a 4K. So anyway, we're done here. You guys take care.